Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, students. I can't hear you. You should be happy you're graduating today. Good afternoon, students. We're very happy that our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Olive Sabiti, has left us with words of wisdom. Among many, many ideas, she said that we must ask ourselves the question, what shall I do with my education to make a positive difference? What shall I do with my education to make a positive difference? That's a message and a question from your Vice Chancellor. So students, repeat after me, what shall I? That's still too low. What shall I do with my education to make a positive difference? That's the Vice Chancellor's question. Let's clap for her. We're also dramatically fortunate that our other Vice Chancellor, who is outgoing, has moved to a new job in another university. After building this university for 8 years, Professor John Mugisha is here with us. So let's clap for him again. Professor Mugisha remains the chairman of the new journal that was launched today. He will remain the chairman of the editorial board even as he is in another university, because this is the age of collaboration. So we continue to collaborate with Professor Mugisha even as he is at Bishop Stewart. You heard an introduction of many vice chancellors and deputy vice chancellors who are present because we are collaborating. That's one of the forces of the fourth industrial revolution. You live in an age in which you are required as students to collaborate, to communicate, to create, and to think critically. The forces of the fourth industrial revolution. I would like to begin by going back to the Chancellor's question. What shall I do with my education to make a positive difference? And the first thing you do with that education is to remember that when God designed your body, it was not designed for sitting for 2 hours. And you have just been sitting for 2 hours. So may I request all of you to volunteer to stand up. It is entirely voluntary. What shall I do with my education? Step one is to take care of your body. So you can volunteer to stand. That is the Vice Chancellor's question. It's entirely voluntary, but it turns out that all the new research shows that one of the worst things you can do is to sit for a long time. Your body is not designed for sitting. Thank you very much. You can take a seat. I want to say a very special thank you to the government of Uganda and to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has always kept Cavendish at his heart. Whenever President Jonathan Goodluck, the 14th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, comes to this graduation, he is welcomed to State House. So the President, our President is always aware. So Mheshimiwa Raisi, asante sana. I also would like to thank our commencement speaker, Lady Justice Monica, who shared great insights with us. I would like to thank all members of our Vice Chancellor's entourage, which includes a king. You are lucky that at your graduation you actually have a king. I would like to thank the Nigerian High Commission, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the President of the Guild. I would like to thank Africa Education Holding, which has been introduced to you already. That's the company that sponsors this university, led by my CEO and friend, Mr. Peter Kagunye, who has been introduced to you. I would like to thank members of council and members of the advisory board, most of whom are here, a few of them are watching online. Lady Justice Lillian Tibatemwa, Honorable Napito, Dr. Orach, Hajat Aisha Lubega, Major Retired David Rusa, Ms. Jolie Uzamkunda, Ms. Wamboi Maina, and I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our Chancellor, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for inviting me this year to speak at an Africa-wide conference, which the Vice Chancellor has described. Now, at that conference, just to share an interesting story, the speech that I gave at that conference happens by coincidence to be about ideas that our Chancellor has been thinking about for very many years. And then the publication of the speech is actually in a journal of reproduction. It's not in a journal of education. The speech is about education, but in a journal of reproduction. So any student who can guess why that makes sense, I would be very happy with you, and you can, if you have a long story to tell me why this makes sense, we can meet after graduation. And I would be very happy to stay in touch with you. So there's a genetic accident in Benin City. His name is Professor Dr. Friday Okonofua. Okonofua is a brilliant man, he's a doctor of medicine, and a very deep thinker. And he is the editor of the African Journal of Reproductive Health. He's also the Secretary General of the African Academy of Sciences, which is a collection of the brightest scientists on this continent. Even though I'm a scientist, I do not yet qualify to join the academy. He is the Secretary General. Professor Dr. Okonofua saw it wise to publish a paper on ideas of education in a journal of reproduction, because this is the only continent that is still reproducing. The other 6 settled continents have stopped, the other 5 out of 6 have actually stopped reproducing. You can check it in your other brain. So students, one of the messages I always share at graduation is that the world has rapidly moved to a very interesting direction in which, although God gave you one brain, but human beings have used that one brain in a collective, collaborative effort to create a second brain. So do not use your phone for entertainment. That is for people who did not graduate. If you're a graduate, your phone is your second brain, and it's used for something that your mother told you when you were very little, and that something is called learning. That's the purpose of the second brain. If you find yourself constantly using your second brain for laughter, maybe, just maybe, you did not listen to your mother carefully. She was very much interested in you learning. And the story of this century is a story of continuous learning. And quite interestingly, when we were at school, and one of my schoolmates is here, Professor Dr. Emeka, kindly stand up. Professor Emeka is the Vice Chancellor of the International University of East Africa, and he lives in Uganda. I would encourage all of you who live in Kampala to try and meet him at his office. He's a genetic accident. Professor Emeka did not go to secondary school, and he did not go to undergraduate. He went straight from primary to master's degree. Right? And he's right here live, okay? He's an expert in computer information systems and an innovator in many, many different ways. One of the many, many genetic accidents that I have had the privilege to meet. Now, people like Professor Meka are actually in your village. Some of them are your relatives. Some of them are your neighbors. And when I go back to the Vice Chancellor's question, okay, let's do the Vice Chancellor's question again. It's all students after me. What can I do with my education to make a positive difference? And the answer is, beginning tomorrow, you'll identify a child and help that child to become a genetic accident. So each one of us should actually be actively teaching a child something. Okay, and one of those children will rise. Okay. So don't wait for something called a job. Your business begins tomorrow. You did not go to school to get an education for yourself only. You went to school to get an education so that, as our Vice Chancellor said, you make a positive difference for this continent. It is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. Nobody else is going to build this conference. That we have to do. Business begins tomorrow. With that one child that you'll begin to teach to read, with that one child that you'll begin to teach the times table, the multiplication tables. That is my message to you. I will now take this opportunity to request all students to stand up to welcome our Chancellor, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the 14th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this is how we shall welcome him. We shall welcome him with a little application of knowledge. There's an important contemporary philosopher by the name of Louis Menand who has famously said that knowledge is our most important business, and all our other business depends on it. And the new findings, again, we're talking about knowledge, are that the best way to stay healthy and to keep learning is to play. So we're going to play for a few minutes. So, and our business is Africa. So we'll begin with the Faculty of Law, then we go to the Faculty of Socioeconomic Sciences. So Law, Socioeconomic Sciences, Science and Technology, and then Business. Let us see who wins the competition of saying Africa, oh yeah. Okay, and we shall do it twice. Law, Africa, oh yeah. Socioeconomic Sciences. Science and Technology. I think Science and Technology is winning. Business. Now I'm not sure anymore. Okay, let's run another round to see who is winning. Law. Socioeconomic Science. Science and Technology. Business. Please remain standing. You are young and healthy. We're all young and healthy. Knowledge is our most important business. All our other business depends on it. Our Vice Chancellor's question: what shall I do with my education to make a positive difference? At this moment, I take this opportunity to welcome His Excellency, the 14th President of the Republic of Kenya, who is deeply concerned about democracy and the future of this continent, to make his remarks from his seat. Thank you. You may sit down.